So Scott and Emma, we've had this property valued for starters. The valuations have come in at between 339,950 and 350,000. So what's your reaction to that?
Yeah, it's pretty much what we expected, I think. I think about 350.
Yeah, we expected.
Yeah.
Right, so now we need to set a budget for your next house, the big move to the country. So how much can you afford to spend on that?
I think if we get about 350 for the property, then 425 is how much we can afford.
Now, to get us all in the mood, I've found some properties here that are all within that price range. This is your opportunity really to start to give me an idea of things that you really love and you really hate property-wise. So the first property is in Sutton Coldfield in Warwickshire. It's on the market for 425 and it's a 3-bedroom, 3-reception room detached property.
It looks a bit modern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
We kind of prefer sort of character properties rather than new ones.
Have a look at the inside. That's the kitchen.
Nice big kitchen.
Yeah, size-wise good.
Yeah, room for a table.
And that's its garden.
With gardens, bigger the better, but that's fine actually. I mean, I think as a
I think that's quite a nice size really. We wouldn't want anything too big because then of course you've got to look after it.
So sort of manageably sized gardens and really preferring not modern.
Yeah.
Sort of message from that. This property is a barn conversion. This is in Staffordshire and it's on the market for 380,000.
That looks lovely.
Yeah, barns are definitely one of the choice of if you're going by sort of type of house. Yeah,
that looks really lovely.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it seems to be on 2 floors as well.
And that's the sitting room.
Wow.
That's nice.
Yeah,
I thought that was surprisingly grand for a barn conversion.
It is actually, isn't it?
Yeah.
So I'm getting a very clear message, no modern properties. We're looking for a period house with lots of character.
Yes, very much so.
I need to know where I'm looking for them. So Emma, where would you like to move to?
We'd like to move to the Chilterns, somewhere in the Chilterns.
And what's determined that decision?
Access to London, which is where I work, and that's very important. So we don't want the journey to be too time consuming. So yeah.
So what is an acceptable daily commute for you, Scott?
I would say an hour, I think, door to door.
So that's something for me to bear in mind.
Yeah.
Right, so now I need to make my kind of essentials shopping list. So Emma, how many bedrooms do you want?
We need a minimum of 3 bedrooms. A 4th bedroom would be lovely, but 3 will be fine.
Right, so the 4th's a luxury, really.
Yes.
Yeah. So living space-wise, are there any rooms that are particularly important to you?
Yes, we would like somewhere that Archie can play. So either a playroom or perhaps if we had a large kitchen diner, somewhere where I can keep an eye on him while he plays. And
also somewhere to eat. So there's got to be, in the kitchen, either somewhere with a nice table or a separate dining room.
Right.
Okay. We like to entertain, we like to have people around, but also as the family gets bigger, I think meal times are quite important. So,
right.
Yeah.
So kitchen diner would do in that. You're kind of quite happy to have kitchen suppers.
Fine.
That would be fine. Yeah.
So coming from London streets as you are, I'm assuming that you'd like some private parking or a garage with the property.
Definitely.
Yeah. It's not as high up as some of the things we've mentioned, but a garage would be great.
And now garden-wise, really we're looking for a kind of a kick-about, lawned area rather than a kind of pruny begonias type garden.
Yeah, they just become targets for the football then, so it's not worth it.
Okay, so I've got my list. I know where I'm going. I'm going to head off to the Chilterns, obviously because of its commutability. It is a very popular area, but I'll do my very best to fulfil all that I can. Easy bit for you guys. I just sit at home, keep logged onto the laptop. I'll send you pictures back of the houses that I'm seeing, and then we'll all head off together to see your chosen 2.
Oh, looking forward to it.
Lovely.
Yeah, great.
So Scott and Emma have a budget of £425,000 to spend on a period property in the Chilterns. It needs to have 3 bedrooms, a kitchen diner or separate room for Archie, a spacious garden and off-street parking. The Chilterns must be one of the country's most familiar landscapes. They do, after all, feature regularly on film and screen as the epitome of English country life. The hills that give the region its name lie to the northwest of London and stretch across 4 counties: Oxfordshire, Buckinghamshire, Bedfordshire and Hertfordshire. But it's the daisy chain of market towns and pretty villages along the length of the Chilterns that has enchanted authors, poets and more recently the filmmakers. John Milton, Shelley, Roald Dahl and Enid Blyton have all called this region home. Scenes from Four Weddings and a Funeral and James Bond have been shot against this backdrop. But television viewers will recognise that we're in the heart of Midsummer Murders territory, although it's a little more tranquil in real life. But there's much more to the Chilterns than just a film buff's trail. The woodland-covered hills are a haven for wildlife and a magnet for walkers. The 5,000-year-old track, the Ridgeway, is the oldest in Britain. The fact that the Chilterns is a designated area of outstanding natural beauty and its proximity to London means property here comes at a premium. The average house price is just under £250,000, which is more than £60,000 above the national average. The period properties Emma and Scott prefer are the most desirable of all. So, while £425,000 is a lot of money, they might have to keep a check on their expectations and prepare to make some compromises. Day one of my search, and I'm in the north of the hills, where the chalk escarpment dominates the landscape. However, this is no ancient landmark, but an advert for the local zoo. Nearby is the village of Ivinghoe Aston, and my first property. If it's period charm that attracts Scott and Emma, they should find Orchard Farmhouse magnetic.
Beautiful house though, isn't it? Very much what we've been looking for.
Back in Crouch End, Emma and Scott are keeping track of my progress via the laptop. Firstly, there's the matter of the price to clear up, as the owner, Nick Record, explains. So, Nick, now the asking price of your property is currently $475,000, isn't it?
That's right.
Scott and Emma will be going, what is she doing? Has she gone mad? But for $425,000, which is my budget, apparently there's a deal to be done where some of the property will be sold separately.
That's right.
So how does that work?
Well, for $475,000, you get a half-acre paddock.
So this land
this
here.
land here, and there's a double garage, 2 single stables and an office.
But for $425,000, you just get the house, not the land.
A small piece of garden, a house and some parking.
I think that's probably fine, isn't it?
I want the paddock.
So when we come into the hallway, oh, and it's lovely and cool.
Yeah.
Walking in here, so this is your lovely entrance. I guess that's probably from these beautiful flagstones.
Yes, we put these down a few years ago. They're actually the path to a church at one point.
It's really lovely, isn't it, the whole way?
First room here, what's through here, Nick?
Through here we have the bathroom.
Right, the bathroom, is this the only one?
It is. There is potential for another one upstairs.
Right.
Downstairs bathroom, not ideal, but nice enough size,
Yeah, it's
isn't
got a
it?
shower, bath, sink. It's got everything there. I don't think downstairs is that much of an issue.
Amazing door. You can see this is going to be a real magical mystery tour around the house. Oh, gosh, look at this. Well, they said they wanted character.
You can see our sofa's in there.
Yeah, Archie playing on the floor.
Yeah.
How old is the house, Nick?
Early 1600s. We think this was a dairy because it drops down a few steps.
Right.
And the kitchen used to be a cattle barn with a hay loft above it.
Right, okay. So this room presumably would have been the kind of the living area because it's got this amazing kind of fireplace here, which is a lovely feature. And this, great. Is this staying?
It will stay. It was handmade for the fireplace.
Fireplace is nice, isn't it?
Yeah, I think they must have. I'd like to see what it was like before. And they've obviously done a lot of work, and it's very tasteful as well.
They're sort of fairly small, but then I suppose it's sort of cottage proportions.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And there's a doorway there. Oh, right, so that's the stairs.
That's right.
Brilliant. I'll come back to those in a minute. This is amazing. Well, so there's me going, that room's fairly small. I mean, it's completely compensated by this kitchen. It's enormous.
It is large.
That is a wow, isn't it?
That is fantastic, isn't it? I even like the colour scheme as well.
It looks perfect. I think you could pretty much move straight in here, couldn't you?
Thanks, yeah.
Yeah. What's that under the table?
That's a well.
Right, covered, presumably.
It is covered. I'm told it's 26 feet deep, but it's capped at the moment.
Wouldn't want to lose Archie down there, would we?
No, we could put a few of our relatives down there. Wouldn't go down too badly, would it?
So we haven't really got sort of a separate playroom for Archie, but having said that, there's so much space in this kitchen that Emma can quite easily have a little space down here for him, maybe have a slightly smaller table.
Yeah, Archie can play in there, no problem. So it's easy for you to keep an eye on him while he's in there. And
It's a nice big size,
Yeah.
isn't it?
So this is your utilities area.
That's right.
Yeah, handy to have somewhere to stick all this stuff out of the kitchen, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's really nice, but to have all of that out of the kitchen.
Keeps it out of the way though, doesn't it?
Right, so this is effectively what you end up with as garden if the other bit gets sold separately. Okay, well it's quite a good size actually. It's a good sort of children's running around patch.
I think that's a perfect size for us really, isn't it?
It's a decent size garden, definitely.
Considering we're not really into gardening, that's just ideal.
It's quite manageable, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right, so the stairs lead up from the living room. This certainly carries on with its period character. Emma and Scott, I hope they're going to love this. So this is the master bedroom.
Wow.
That's nice, isn't it? It's quite small though.
Yeah, it seems quite low. Good job we're short, isn't it?
But it just, the room itself seems quite small.
Yeah, I think because the lower ceiling as well probably makes it feel a little bit more
Maybe
enclosed.
Now, up here is where Nick suggests you could have your second bathroom. Through here. Okay, so actually, once you're in here, there's a loo already in place and a sink, and plenty of space up that end to put a shower.
obviously you've got a duct to get in, but once you're in there, it's actually a decent enough size, isn't it?
Yeah.
You just have to make sure that you mind your head when you're coming in and out. I think that is definitely the lowest doorway that I've ever been through. Then across the hallway, and this is bedroom number 2. Now this is actually a really good size and certainly no worries about hitting your head in here because it's a really high ceiling. Again, loads of period character.
Yeah, higher ceiling. Is that a double bed in there or a single?
It's a double.
It's a double. You could even make that the main bedroom, couldn't you?
The real downside is that bedroom number 3 leads off bedroom number 2.
Not so much of a problem, I don't think. It's children's room.
It's children's room. That's actually not a bad idea.
And bedroom 3 is actually a really good size. Nick tells me that he has looked into the possibility of putting a separate staircase up to this room. I suppose it would come up sort of here. So that's something for Scott and Emma to consider.
Yeah.
Perhaps at a later date you might think about something like that.
Yeah, I think you'd have to. You see how your own situation's going, don't you? You know, if it's worth doing, it adds value to the property as well as improve what you've got there, then maybe it's worth the extra expense.
Orchard Farmhouse has so much oldie-worldy charm, it's hard to believe it's only an hour from central London. And though Scott and Emma may love the look of the cottage, will the character features be enough to compensate for the rather impractical layout?
Wow, great house, great kitchen, great size. Really like the lounge as well, was great. But upstairs?
Yeah, it's a beautiful house. A little bit worried about the size of the bedrooms upstairs. There might not be enough room for storage.